Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a few years since we last posted on the channel. I hope you guys are doing well. I don't even know where to begin today's video because a few years ago, we hit 1 million subscribers and then I sort of let this channel die. And I haven't posted as much on here, and I just wanted to give you guys an explanation like what the F I've been doing in my personal life, in terms of business, in terms of mindset, because I realized you guys are, oh, I died. Anyways, I realized you guys were watching me when you were just probably middle high schoolers, but now you're getting into the real world. You're probably in college. You don't want to work for someone. You don't want to slave your life away. You realize there's more to life than what you're going through. And I get that because I was going through that same thing literally a decade ago, 10 years ago. So realize this, when I was in high school, I hit 1 million subscribers on the YouTube channel. And at its peak, I was making over $20,000, $30,000 a month at just 18 years old. And that led me to have a very distorted view of how money worked and how the world worked. And I'm very thankful for that in a good way, because that led to me realizing, listen, I didn't want to work for someone else for the rest of my life. Once I graduated high school, my parents were very NPC. This is how you live life. You graduate high school, you go to college, you get a car, you get engaged, you get a house. You know, it's a very cookie cutter version of the American dream. But having experienced some success at a young age, I had realized there was a different path to this game of life. So I ended up doing 1 semester at community college. That I did do. And part of that was because my parents, they had that in mind, that I wanted to appease them. I was still young. I didn't know how to gather my own thoughts, but also I didn't have a lot of experience in life where I didn't feel confident enough to maybe state how I feel. So I did 1 semester at a community college, and I'm very thankful my parents were pretty reasonable. They didn't want to send me out of state. They wanted me to stay local. They wanted me to save some cash, which are all benefits. But after 1 semester at community college, I realized like, hey, that just wasn't for me. And if you're watching this and not from the USA and you don't know what a community college is, it's literally just like a university, but it's more local where you pay like a fraction of the fees. And it's not like you can get a 4-year university. It's usually just for the first 2 years of your education, essentially. So I went to community college for 1 semester. And as I was finishing that up, thankfully, I got a life-saving opportunity where I got an invitation to move to a team house in Los Angeles for Clash of Clans. So I made, a couple $100,000s in high school from posting Clash Royale videos. Once that finished, I went to community college. But after just 1 semester, I had an opportunity to move to Los Angeles, to move into a team house and focus on gaming and content for a full-time job. And growing up, I was really into Call of Duty. I was into FaZe Clan, esports. So that opportunity, it felt like a golden ticket. So that's exactly what I did. I quit school after 1 year. I went to LA. But when I was there, guys, like, it wasn't what I thought. I had some anxiety. It was difficult to leave the house. Traffic sucked balls in LA. I didn't want to leave. I didn't have friends. So it's like I was living in this team house, but my roommates were also introverted. They had their own issues as well, where after about 6 months of living in LA, I realized like, hey, like, this isn't for me. I just wasn't ready for that yet. So as a result, I ended up back at my parents' house. But at that point, my YouTube channel had slowed down. And it was still maybe pulling in like 10K a month. Like, it was doing decent. But compared to 30K a month, I felt very inadequate, very insignificant. And that caused me to have some self-doubt. So I went back to what my parents thought were best. And to them, they suggested firefighting school. And it made sense at the time because firefighting school took 1.5 years. It was like $3,000 to get certified, where I always hated university. I didn't want to spend years of my life to get a degree for something I couldn't give 2 shits about. But also, some people at like D1 schools or expensive schools are paying 20, 30, 40K a year just to simply exist. And since I had tasted some success at a young age, I knew there was more to life after that. So eventually I start firefighting school. It's a year and a half program where you need to become an EMT, which is like they're like a lesser paramedic in a way, before you can become a firefighter. So when I started firefighting school, I just quit YouTube essentially because I was like, okay, YouTube posting gaming videos is a very childish thing. Like, how am I going to be saving lives if I'm screaming, "What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video." You know, I was very high energy, and I felt like that vibe just didn't match with being a public service worker. You know, it just was a mismatch. So instead, I swapped out YouTube for e-commerce. I saw some people making money with Shopify dropshipping. I'm like, holy shit, $100,000 a month. They don't need to be on camera. And that really caught my eye. So I started firefighting school. And while I did that, I quit YouTube, but replaced that with dropshipping. So it's not like I've been lazy or, you know, quit grinding altogether. I just realized I couldn't be doing the current business model with the goals that I had to achieve. So my whole first year of firefighting school, guys, I'm running drop shipping stores on the side, just trying to make some money. And I made a whopping $0. I tested over 50 products with Facebook ads. I was joining all these groups. I was getting all these spy tools. And I made jack shit. I spent over $10,000 just trying to figure this out. And thankfully, you know, I had some money made from YouTube where it's not like I was going in debt from this, but I was spending, you know, every dollar I had in my savings to try and crack ecom because I saw people online, they were printing with Shopify drop shipping. I very well knew it was possible, but I just had to find a way to make it work for myself. So my whole first year, I was training to become a firefighter. I got certified as an EMT, and I had tested over 50 different products. And it wasn't until I met one of my mentors, Luke Belmar, that I really figured out how the F this whole game worked. And it's not like I learned anything revolutionary there, other than the fact that he just gave me some self-confidence in myself. So if you guys are watching this, the main thing I want to stress is realize you don't need to go to school. You don't need to get a job to live a life of freedom. A lot of these thoughts you may have might have been implanted on you from teachers, from religious institutions, or even your parents. And like, it's okay to have those people in your life. But at the end of the day, you need to know what it is that you're going after and what it is that you want to achieve. Eventually, though, I was finishing firefighting school, and I'll try to get my editor to throw some photos on the screen. But the week I graduated firefighting school, my store made $89,000 in revenue. And that was after the whole year, which I just explained to you guys. And of that, maybe 20-30% was profit. You know, I made $30,000 in just 2 weeks. And 3 days after that, I graduated the firefighting academy and was like, holy shit, okay. I had this YouTube channel, it died. I moved to LA, that wasn't for me. I'm back in with my parents. I'm training to become a firefighter. And the week I graduate, my store blows the fuck up and I make hundreds of thousands of dollars in a super short period of time. And ever since that win, I never did firefighting. Like, I just went all in on myself. At this point, my certificates have expired. I'm not allowed to be a firefighter anymore, but I can still save your life. And what I really want to stress to you guys is there's more methods in life to hit some freedom. Now, if you want to be a lawyer, if you want to be a doctor, a dentist or something where school is required, then by all means, go ahead and do that. But if it's your goal to just live a life of freedom, to be truly who you're meant to be and not slave your life away over the rat race, then realize you have some other options in front of you. So with this channel, you know, GTA 6 is coming out in the next month. Maybe we'll make a return, post some videos there. But also, like, guys, I have made fuck tons of money online. I have crushed it with YouTube. I've crushed it with e-commerce. I've ran agencies. And now I'm making over $1 million a year teaching people how to start dropshipping. And my point is just to give you guys some hope, some faith, where you don't need to be in this rat race. And you guys gave me a lot of support when I was still figuring this shit out. When I was just, you know, a teenager, you guys were watching these videos and giving me a platform. But now I've matured, you know, I'm almost 30 years old. You know, I'm married. I have a family on the way. And I'm not the same person you guys used to once watch. I've acquired many things, and I want to help you guys just hit that same level of freedom. So on this channel, I want to walk you through what the F has been actually going on and give you some data sets where you're not lost in this world, where you can make some money online. And don't think you need to make millions of dollars. It doesn't take much effort at all to hit a couple $100 a day. In fact, it's simple. It's not easy, but it is simple to make money online. And I would just compare it to the gym. Like, how do you get a six pack? Oh, you work out, you diet. Okay, that is simple. But to actually put that into practice day after day to get those results for yourself, it is difficult. You know, it takes some time where you can actually reap the fruits of your labor. So with that in mind, like, guys, I have been through it all. I've had success, I've lost it, I've been through the system, I've had parents without limiting beliefs, I've built multiple businesses to 6-7 figures. So please, like, use me as some faith that everything can work out if you stick with things long enough. But if you're only watching videos and if you never take action, you're never going to hit that big breakthrough. So what I would recommend for you guys is, listen, click the video on the screen. I have a 2-hour tutorial showing you guys how to start making some money online. If you're going to hate and leave some bullshit comments, you're going to be poor the rest of your life. But if you guys are actually serious about improving your situation, this is your opportunity. Click it, check it out. Leave any comments down below. I'm going to post some more videos here on the channel. I think I can really help you guys escape this bullshit of a realm that we're spawned into. And with that in mind, guys, God bless. Keep crushing it. Check that video out, and I'll see you soon.